next presenter will be Team Strangers with the title Proposals to Save Marine Life from Underwater Noise Pollutions. Please welcome Team Strangers.
Hi everybody, we are strangers. Let's say you're studying at your house and your neighborhood who living upstairs listen to music very loudly. Then what did you say? Maybe we said like, please turn down the volume. Yes, this is our title, turn down the volume. Today we are going to talk about only three aspects: background, solutions, and conclusion. Whales are dying. Why are whales dying? What happened to them? Maybe it's because of the oil pollution, climate change, and trash pollution. These factors might be true, but there is something more powerful reason which makes whales die. That is this: underwater noise pollution. Did you hear this sound? This is the sound of the whales. Beautiful, right? There is no light under the water, so they see the ocean through the sound. It's so critical for their survival. They use their sound to communicate between each other to their bonding thing, and they use their sound to hunt for food, find a mate, and even navigate. And their high-level sound communication abilities are able to travel the sound about 5,000 kilometers because of the peculiar physics of the water sound. Just try to imagine that 5,000 kilometers. It means they can hear my voice to the Australia. But man-made noise like industrial and military has a devastating impact on marine life. The tens of thousands of massive commercial ships travel the world's oceans with machinery and propeller noise. And another source of noise is a naval sonar, which makes a very intense and terrible screeching sound. And the loudest man-made noise under the sea comes from the repeated firing of seismic air guns for oil and gas industry. They are fired every 10 seconds up to 24 hours a day. Loud, isn't it? Yes, the sound of all of those ships literally fill our ocean's natural sound. So how will they survive? And as you probably already know, over 90% of world trade is transported by ships. In other words, around 6 million commercial ships travel the world's oceans at any given time. So, among previous noises, we are going to talk about commercial ships' propeller cavitation, which accounts for the largest portion of noise pollution. Then, what is cavitation? It's basically related to ship's propeller, and let me give you more detail. Then you need to know about bird noise theory. So it's a little formula. The point is, if velocity is going up, then pressure must be down because value is constant. So back to the point, if propeller speed is going up, then water pressure around the propeller will be down by bird noise theory. So according to a triple point graph, water becomes gas. Bubble is called cavitation. Bubbles are generated in this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When these bubbles burst, it causes noise. And it doesn't matter when the number of the bubbles is small. But the problem is the moment when bubbles comes out dramatically. We call this CIS, cavitation inception speed. After this point, as you see, noise level increases rapidly. So if we could delay the CIS point like this, then we could reduce the noise level. So my next presenter, Mr. Park, is going to talk about how to delay the CIS point.
There is a lot of ways to reduce propeller cavitation noise, which which is related to the CIS. But today, we are going to talk about two things which are applicable to new vessels and existing vessels. Firstly, propeller design. It is all about new vessels. Let's look. We understood that the good propeller design is the core to reduce cavitation noise, as here saying like for characteristics. And we added those factors to complete this document more detailed, more specific. Those factors are about standards. The first is number of blades. The choice of this one is one of the first decisions to be made in propeller design. Marine propellers basically have 3, 4, or 5 blades, which of 4 blades are the most common. Among these, the less blades, the cheaper the price, the higher the speed. But the most important thing is the more noise. Reversely, the more blades, the strong, the rigidity, the excellent performance, and even in the rough waves, it gives powerful strength. You might think it may look perfect, right? But they will be seldom as efficient as 3-bladed, because the closer the bladed create additional turbulence, literally scrambling up each other's water flow. So the point is, this must be always taken into consideration with various factors. Second is skew. Skew is the angle formed between the baseline of the wing section and the plane of the propeller shaft center. Skew development has begun to address noise and vibration problems, and it also showed overall good performance, and it is only effective if it is less than 50 degrees. But there is something wrong with it. What is it? When the ship moves backwards, the stiffness is getting weaker than the formation amount increase. So why? It is because of the stress on the propeller. And that stress oftentimes be concentrated on one place, and that's why it's not easy to move backwards. So how can you minimize this? The thickness of propeller must be added to the part where the stress is concentrated on, or be used flexible matrix composite to supplement the strength of the propeller. The third is blade outline. What if it's wide? Then frictional resistance is getting bigger than reduced propulsion efficiency, so the vessel is trying to increase the power to move forward. And this causes a sudden increase of fluid velocity, resulting in between wings, resulting in turbulent formation. So this part must be always reduced properly. Next is angle of attack. When the relative velocity of RPM and fluid velocity draw, the blade angle and the pitch angle appear. At that point, the angle of attack is the difference value of 2 angles. Because of that, there are going to be 3 types of cavitations. And all these factors are depending on the value of that angle, and all these cause corrosion, erosion, and catastrophic effect on noise emission as well as propeller erosion. So what do we have to do? We need to acknowledge what is determined by the values through a modeling test and set the perfect ratio. Next is materials. The choice of materials is more important than what design factors are. The choice of materials is really effective to prevent corrosion from the cavitation, because corrosion is an extension of the problem of shortening the CIS. Propeller basically is made of aluminum or steel alloy. Performance, reliability, efficiency, and overall cost are all the factors come to bear. But most of them fail to meet all these requirements partially. About the aluminum one, easily run out and damage it. About steel one, costly repaired. So it would be great if you would start designing a alloy that can outperform an average with existing materials, or developing conducting materials such as flexible matrix composite. The last is pitch diameter ratio. These factors are correlated with RPM, all of which are organically linked to the rest of the factors. And next solution is about new vessels, and this part will be represented by Mrs. Han.
And then next, we'll suggest technologies that can be easily applied on existing ships. These two things that I'm going to talk about can control the flow of fluid. The first thing is the vortex generator, which is installed outside a hull, like these pictures. Of course, it can control the fluid. Especially, fin vortex cavitation will be lessened as shown in these pictures. Therefore, as noise is reduced, the propulsion efficiency is going to increase. The second is the energy-saving device called propeller boost caffeine, which is installed on center shaft of the propeller, and it is absorbing the energy from flowing back of the propeller and reducing hull vortex cavitation. Also, it allows you to increase the speed by 2% with same horsepower and save 5% of the fuel at the same speed. After all, noise is not only a disturbance of the wheel's life, but also wasted energy. So if we reduce the noise by these kind of technologies, we could definitely save the fuel and increase the efficiency. So now, we'll suggest our proposals to IMO based on what we mentioned before. Firstly, specify propeller design. And secondly, simple technologies on existing ships should be included in the guideline. And lastly, CIS and SPL, it means sound power level, should be recorded in the document. In this guideline, we can see the category of a propeller design, and there are diameter, blade number, pitch, skew, and sections here. But we don't think it's enough because blade outline, angle of attack, and material are also very important factors that affect cavitation. In addition, each element should be presented with more detailed criteria in subcategories. Next, in this guideline, as a result of previous study, a vortex generator and propeller boost caffeine should be included in this guideline as a readily available technology. And lastly, here are appendix for managing energy efficiency on MEPC 282 at 17th session. We think it's necessary to add CIS and SPL items here because there's no mandatory regulation of underwater noise pollution. And we think it is helpful if it's proceeded at first to recognize the energy efficiency associated with underwater noise pollution. So do you remember our title? So now, I want to ask you a pretty simple question. If you live in noisy neighbors, how would you feel? For radios, every single moment is a matter of survival, not just stress. So now, I would like to give you a message. Turn down the volume and turn back the happy life to where it again. Here are references, we're strangers, and thank you for your kind attention today.
Thank you, Team Strangers. Actually, I changed my chair because of the noise. Professor Munch, floor is yours.
Thank you, strangers, on your very much interesting but technical presentation regarding the presentation made by strangers. Questions? Okay, this time I go for speaking point first. Yes.
Thank you for your impressive presentation. Your key tipping point. There are many kinds of ships, but you didn't mention how to apply the 6 conditions to each type of ship specifically. So we're curious as to whether the study can be done without a specific application to its ship. Even if a propeller is designed as you suggested and is applied with various ship, the SPL pattern can be changed by several external factors. For example, fouling and propeller erosion, so on. Do you have a specific plan for this?
Just wait a second.
If you have not thought of that question, so just say no, that's it. And or you have to say that we'll think about it later on. No direct answer to the question made by tipping point yet.
Okay, sorry. Also, every factor is affected by ship types or some other factors by environment. And as you said, it's really important thing about fouling. So we suggest that materials to reduce erosion and also reduce cavitation.
Our question is how to apply the 6 conditions to its type of ship specifically.
You mean 6 conditions?
6 types. You mean?
You mean 6 propeller factors, right?
No, hang on. What do you mean by that? 6 something? 6 movements of ships behavior or something like that? That's what you meant? What does that mean? 6?
6 factors of propeller.
6 factors of propeller. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you're saying it have to be It have to be combined by other factors. Just if you consider only one factor or 2 factor, it doesn't work to reduce cavitation, and also it has another disadvantage. So we think there must be a lot of studies about it. Thank you.
Is that clear to you? What are they? Out of my curiosity, what are the 6 factors of propeller? For example, just give me 1 or 2.
For example, skew or blade outline, angle of attack.
Okay. You all understood what the question was, right?
So you mean how do we apply skew and glove attack and materials on existing ships, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we studied those factors related with cavitation, because we wanted to reduce cavitation, and we studied affections of cavitation and propeller design, and as I said, it has to be combination of all the 6 factors.
And let me add, all the factors are organically linked to the rest of the factors, and these factors must be designed in large cavitation tunnel through modeling test. It's depending on types or scale of vessel, like that.
Thank you. And the marine catcher.
First of all, thank you for your truly intriguing presentation. And we're just wondering that the regions where the whale lives are quite limited, and there are no current regulations regarding the sound pollution in the Korean Marpom. So wouldn't it be too much to design the entire design of the propellers just for the whales? Because as far as we know, the optimal form of the propellers are all different according to the ship types. Have you thought about this problem?
Yeah, I totally understand your worry, and yeah, of course it can be too much only for whales, but IFAW, it means International Fund for Animal Welfare, having called for this problem on IMO very many years ago. And only the guideline was adopted on 2014. And so we just wanted to make it more detailed, and yeah, it's not realistic to regulate it immediately. So we just want to make it more detailed and more specific with these kind of factors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mia.
Thank you.
This is a speaker from the Imperial King. Firstly, we were deeply impressed by your team's specific and intelligible presentation. What we want to pose as a possibly occurable matter is that if changing the propeller for reducing the noise, wouldn't there be any side effect negatively affecting on the efficiency of maneuverability of the vessel or on the propulsion efficiency? Could you answer about this question?
First of all, we're not saying we have to change propeller on existing ships. This is just for new vessels under construction, and we suggest two technologies on existing ships, such as first tech generator and propellerable fins. So I don't think it's a problem of it. Thank you.
Thank you. See Korea.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, and I'm from Team C Korea, and I want to ask about the percentage of whales dying from this noise, because as you said in the presentation, there are many reasons like oil pollution or those things, so we fear that even though we go for this proposal, there might not be much benefit given to these whales.
I'm sorry, could you please?
So you talk about that there are many reasons like oil pollution and like the noise from the solar. So why exclusively noise trying to create a propeller to solve noise pollution from the commercial ships?
Let me give you an example. After 9/11 terror, they will be reduced the shipping in the ocean, and there were times experts find that whales stress down reduced this season. So that's why biggest reason to die is the noise pollution. And another reason is this year's one documentary for the whales. Many experts said that the most important reason to whales dying is the noise pollution. And there's a lot of reasons in that documentary.
Thank you. Now I'd like to come to Mr. Lee from Korean Resistance.
Thank you for your presentation, and maybe similar question which raised previous asker. Do you have any information or studying regarding the fuel consumption or speed change by the changing design to the propellers?
Yeah, also, most experts that slow steaming is also fact to reduce cavitation and underwater noise. But I think it's not realistic, because if we reduce speed, there is another side effect on the ship. So we wanted to minimize the side effect and also reduce the cavitation. So that's why we choose this solution. Thank you.
Thank you for participating in this Q&A session on the presentation made by strangers. Thank you.
Thank you.